On this episode of the Dudes and Dads podcast, we chat with Joel and his boys for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, guys.
You're listening to the Dudes and Dads podcast, a show dedicated to helping men be better dudes and dads by building community through meaningful conversation and storytelling. And now, here are your hosts, Joel DeMott and Andy Lehman.
Joel, last year we brought my kids into the studio, and that was a blast. And your kids have been asking for this forever.
A full year, for sure.
Yeah, so we said, you know, it's time to get those DeMott kids in.
That's right.
And we're recording late today, and so two of them are probably asleep.
We've already we've shipped two of them out already, but Aaron and Josiah are in the house tonight.
So we do have Aaron and Josiah with us, but before we talk anything with them, we are going to do a quick
What's brewing?
Oh, Joel, we are brewing. I mean, what's brewing? We're not brewing.
What is brewing, Andy? Let's start. What's going on in your life right now that tell me something that I don't know.
Tell you something that you don't know? Wow.
What don't I know? So you were what, you did a little cabin camping?
We did, yes, that's true. Thanks for telling me what I don't know to tell you.
I was there for part of it.
Yeah,
so.
You were. So yeah, we decided to take our family camping. I'm putting this in air quotes because some people may not think I'm camping, but I am. So a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Julie texted me on the way home from church and said, "Hey, do you want to go camping this next week?" And I said, absolutely. So
100%.
Yeah, so we went to a local state park here, and we camped. And when I say, again, camped, we were in a cabin, so it had a full kitchen and a bathroom and all that good jazz like that. So some people may not call that camping, but I do. It's my way I kind of camp.
Yes.
And so we were there. We did hiking, we did fishing, and we did kayaking, and we hung out with you guys. You guys came over, and my kids were like ecstatic when they heard that you guys were coming over because they have not seen their friends, the DeMott kids,
We've
for
had
like ever.
A long period of separation.
Right. Well, I mean, like before this whole thing happened.
It's true.
Molly was at our house like every day.
It's true. There's been a disruption in the DeMott Lehman force that we
need to have a fire soon.
Yep, the fire needs to happen. But so you guys did the cabin camping, which is a great a great idea, and it was sort of not a full substitute for other family things you had planned.
Right, because we were 20 minutes from our house, and so we were able to come home and do the chores and then go out there. But the nice thing about it, Joel, was I had like zero internet the whole time.
That's a blessing.
And so it was like, work, you're going to have to be on hold because I have no internet. So it forced me to spend more time with my family, which is beautiful. I love it.
So good. That's the thing about when you're heading into that camp. You have signal leading up to the road to the state park, and then as soon as you enter, it's like a Faraday cage, if I'm using that term correctly.
You are, and it is. Like you just drop.
The signal goes away.
Yeah. And it was great. I loved it.
The signal goes away and all your cares go away.
Right. So what about you, Joel? What has been new in the DeMott family household?
Here's a few things that we're grateful for. Number one, we are grateful for baseball starting back up. The boys, take me out to the ball game. Aaron and Josiah have got their first game. Let's see. Well, so as you guys are listening to this, it'll be the weekend before.
Previous to the episode.
But we're going to play ourselves our first baseball game, and then we're going to all in one day, we're going to go to a baseball game in the morning. Then I have to officiate a wedding in the early afternoon. And then after that is done, we're going to get in our vehicle, and we're going to head to the great North Woods of the Upper Peninsula.
Sweet.
And it's going to be magical.
Thanks for singing for us. Hey,
yeah.
Before we continue on and get to your boys, I would like to remind our listeners that we do have a feedback line, and we love hearing from you. And that feedback line, it's just a voicemail line, and it's going to be 574-213 8702. Joel, we have not had any feedback on this show for a long time.
People,
So
get
call
get
it
with
in.
it. Call in. Just if you just want to, like, I don't know, like a stream of consciousness sharing.
Right. I mean, we love hearing from our listeners.
We do.
574-213-8702. Or if you don't like calling the voicemail, things like that, you can just take out your voice memo app on your phone.
Yeah.
And you can do voice memo and then just email it to dudesanddadspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, even if you guys want to do some spoken word poetry, you want to leave that behind, or maybe some slam poetry, maybe some freestyling, whatever.
Earlier you were singing Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice, and your kids were like, what's that? And
Yeah.
so if you want to sing Vanilla Ice for us, just call us the voicemail, and we'd love to hear it.
We would love to hear it.
So anyways, I do want to welcome just a small subset of your boys, or not of your boys. Well, your boys too, but
He's a subset of my boys because not all of my boys are here.
right, a subset of your kids.
Yes.
So we have with us here Aaron and Josiah. So welcome to the show, guys.
Hi.
You guys are like a little bit mic shy. I think you don't not come up closer to the mic. We want to hear you. So
Do you see how I'm
right
kind
on
of
top of it. Right on top of it.
There you go.
But we again have. It's been a while since we got in here. But so you have, Joel, 4 kids. Can you just kind of, before we get into it, tell us about your 4 kids?
So the 4 kids, we'll go. That's what we like to. You know what? We're gonna go youngest to oldest.
Do youngest to oldest, because
'Cause
Aaron
always
gets
gets the
yeah.
first, right? So Molly is almost 4. Matthew is just turned 7, lucky number 7. Josiah is just over. Josiah turned 9 in March, so Josiah is 9, and then Aaron is 10 and a half. He'll be 11 in November. So those are the
Sweet.
4 kids.
So welcome to the show, guys. So glad to have you here. So Aaron, tell me a little bit about you. What are some things that you like to do as a almost 10-year-old?
10 and a half year old.
10 and a half year old, sorry.
Yeah.
I like fishing more often.
Yes.
Awesome. So fishing, is that something you do with your dad, or you do it just as a
I do it with my dad and my grandparents.
Okay, great. Josiah, what about you? What's some things that you really like to do?
Play baseball and with my dad, and go fishing with my mom.
Yep. You have some fishing.
I've never
and
seen your mom fishing. I have to say that.
She's working her
No.
way in. But Josiah is also, he's our family swimmer.
Okay.
He's the only one that
Likes
is good at
swimming.
it.
Okay.
He's
okay.
he's the difference is he's good at it. The rest
Okay.
of us are
Are terrible.
are not swimmers. I mean, we can stay afloat, right? I guess, but so someday Josiah might have to rescue one of us when we're actually trying to swim. And Aaron so Josiah and Aaron plays baseball too. Aaron, would you say baseball is your favorite sport?
Yes.
Yes.
Easily.
So Josiah, what's your favorite sport? I'll ask you after you're done blowing your nose there, but what's your favorite sport to play? Is it swimming or is it baseball? What
Swimming and then baseball.
Swimming and then baseball. Okay, great.
Sha, how many first places have you won in swimming?
2.
Two
Yeah, so
first
Josiah-
places.
It was
In the
his-
backstroke.
Yes.
He's strong in backstroke.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
So Joel, tell me a little bit about the other 2, since they're not here to defend or represent
Yeah.
themselves.
So
what's
let's
your
see.
other 2 like?
Yeah,
to do?
Matthew. What Matthew is? Matthew is our more of our. He's a soccer. The only sport he plays, I think, is soccer to this point.
Correct.
Yeah, and did futsal.
Right, and that's the indoor soccer thing.
Indoor
right?
soccer without the walls. So it's more like indoor soccer in a gym.
Okay.
With nets that separate all
Yeah.
the.
Net. There's nets in between the courts, and the courts are kind of like they're different. They're like a hard rubber surface, kind of
Okay.
interesting. But yeah, so Matthew's did the futsal soccer thing, and then Matthew's also actually all of them are very into Legos.
No,
Right.
no.
Who?
Me. No, I
You don't
like- you don't
like
I
Legos?
don't do Legos. I don't have the patience for Legos.
So Aaron, let it be on record. Aaron is not a Lego
Not
guy.
a Lego
He does
fan.
not like the Legos.
Oh.
Yeah,
So-
and then Molly's getting into the the 4-year-old girl things, right? Like
So whenever she gets a doll and she
Yes.
doesn't really like it, she either colors on its face or cuts its hair.
Wow.
yeah, it's
Rough. I'm glad she likes me and she's
yeah.
a color on my
Be
face.
careful for Molly; she might
'Cause-
cut your hair.
Yeah, she might cut my hair or color on my face.
Yeah, Molly is she's the youngest and the only girl, so you can imagine she's a little bit of a survivor.
You just
And-
got a new cat.
Oh, we did also get a new cat.
That is
too.
true. So tell me a little bit about that. So you guys already have a dog. So I want to hear this from you guys. How did this come about, this cat? Because I know that Joel, your dad,
Okay.
did not like a cat.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Aaron,
so,
tell me about that. How'd that
so
happen?
my dad was saying if the only way we can get a cat is if we would name it Waffles and it's orange. So
you were thinking there's no way that this is gonna happen. We're not gonna find an orange cat named Waffles.
my mom, Josiah, Maddie, and Molly were determined to find an orange cat.
Okay. So Josiah, how did you guys go about finding this cat?
Well,
Did you put an all points bulletin out on the internet and be like, hey, I need to have this cat so
No.
we can have a cat?
no, not really.
No.
So what we did was we were swimming at our grandma's house, and they said that they had a secret for us. And we went after when we left from our grandma's house to go. We went to somebody else's house that we didn't know who it was, and from there, then we went to then we got the cat, but they were gray. The orange ones were nicer than the gray ones, but the orange ones were boys and the gray ones were girls.
Okay.
And my dad wanted a boy and not a girl.
Well, I didn't really care what gender. I just wanted a nice cat, and we did some research, and orange
better.
cats
Or better than.
they tend to be nicer, and so the color of a cat can determine their temperament. Interestingly enough,
And that is interesting. I didn't know that. I have a white cat.
I'm not sure what that means. Well, here's what I
You-
can tell you.
She's a loner. Like, she just hangs out in the ground and
Mm.
doesn't like people around her.
Ooh,
So that's what that means for us, anyways.
gotcha. Yeah, so there's a whole thing behind this. So yes, we had a friend of ours from church who had a relative who had just so happened to have a litter of kittens that they did not expect to have this litter
9
of kittens.
kittens.
Yeah, 9 kittens.
And you took all 9, right?
They tried to get us to take more than one, didn't they?
and you were
guys?
like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah,
We should have got
don't
2,
know.
Dad.
Nope.
So yeah, that was the
Deadline.
thing. I was as soon as they had the orange kittens, everybody was like, "Oh, Waffles is a great name. We have no problem with that."
Mr. Waffles, too, good sir.
Mr.
Sir,
Waffles.
Mr. Waffles.
Sir,
well,
Mr.
this name is getting longer by the day.
Yeah.
It's
Mr. Waffles catcher. Yeah, Mr. Waffles the Incredible. So yeah, now we have a cat, and here's the thing, it's not that bad. I'm just gonna say it. I'll make an admission. I know, buddy, and I fought because Jackie wanted a cat early on in our marriage, and we've
14 years.
Yes, I've been opposing this for nearly 14 years, and now here we are.
as you should. I'm just gonna say it.
Because I for the longest time said the only good cat is a flat cat.
Do you need another one? I have more that you can have.
No, but Andy knows that you know what? I'll extend my offer to you to any animal that is on the premises of Lehman Family
I know
Farms.
I know, but the thing is, I love my kids, and I don't know that I can handle the where did your cat or dog
For
go?
those of you that don't know, I have offered any special services for shall we just say animal disappearance.
My kids are listening, by the way.
Animal disappearance. I think that's all I'll say.
Okay.
I offer a
And-
service called animal
All
disappearance.
right. You're terrible. So Aaron and Josiah, tell me a little bit more about just what you just finished what grade, Aaron?
4th grade.
4th, and Josiah, you're in what?
4th.
What'd you finish?
3rd.
You're not like twins or anything.
No.
I mean, you look alike, but you're not twins. So you just finished 3rd, you just finished 4th, so you guys move up. That's awesome. So you guys go to the same school?
Yeah. We'll go to the same school and
So,
forever.
Okay. Well, not forever because
No.
like
college.
Intermediate school.
and yeah, one time you'll be in middle school and you'll be in high school
Yeah.
at some point. But tell me about that. Like, how does that work? Do you guys have friends that are together, like close, like people that you guys consider friends together, or you guys have separate friends, or what's that?
Definitely the Layman's together.
Right. Wait. Well, that's just like
Good answer.
Layman DeMott's are like almost one family.
The Millers,
Okay. Cool.
Chris's.
Shout out to the Laymans or the Millers and Chris's.
Yeah, guys.
That's all I can
All
think
right.
of off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's all I can think of.
All right, so I have a question for you, Josiah, and you can answer it too, but I'm going to ask him first. So your dad is the pastor at Clinton Frame. He's the youth and young adult pastor.
Yeah.
What's that like having a dad who's working at the church? Like, what's that mean for you guys? Like, you guys pretty much have free reign of this church, right?
Not really.
You don't, huh?
Kind of.
Kind
So-
of.
Kind of.
So just, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna ask you. I want you to pretend that your dad's not even here. Do you like having him as a youth and young adult pastor?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you like about it so much?
Because he gets to work with kids like us, and if he can fix something with them, he could probably fix it with us.
True. All right. So Aaron, do you ever get a point though where you're just like, oh man, like I can't get away with anything because the youth and young adult leader is my dad?
No.
No. You
No.
don't try to get away with anything, or you just don't get away with it.
I don't try.
All right. Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. They try nothing, Andy. They just, I got them completely convinced to behave all the time.
That's good. That's good. Joel, I'm going to give a little bit of chance here for you to ask your kids some questions because they're your kids and they have to be honest because they're here on our show.
That's right.
And they have to answer honestly. So anything you wanted to ask
Oh,
him,
boy.
your boys here, go ahead and ask.
Let's see. Okay, well, because we could ask these questions, and these are probably questions that all of us parents can ask our kids every once in a while to check in with them. So, guys, let's see here. I'll start with Aaron first. So, Aaron, what do you think if someone were to ask you, like, what are 3 things that are really important to our family, like 3 values
That's
or
a
something?
good question.
Yeah. What do you think? What would you say those 3? If you could name 3 things that are like really important to us, what would you say they are?
Our family, friends, and our faith.
Those are
Family,
good.
friends, and faith.
All 3 F's too.
Gosh,
Man,
he's
like
a
alliteration.
Get
alliteration.
this off TV shows.
Yeah. So, good family. So, what sort of things are important? Like, as far as you say, if our family is important, Josiah, I'll ask you this: what sort of things? Like, how do we show as a family that we value family? Like, what are the things that we do that, like, demonstrate that?
Question again?
Yeah.
How do you
So,
demonstrate? How do you demonstrate that family is important? Like, how does your family?
By caring for everybody by caring for everybody
Yep.
that is important.
mm-hmm. Do you think that we, are there things that we do as a family that?
Get a cat.
Yeah.
Camping is one to reunite most of our family that we've not seen in a long time.
Yeah. That's
So just spending time together as a family, you'd say.
yeah, and I think it's been one thing that, and
Yeah.
I've said before that I've learned, is that my wife's family is much larger. It's just larger than our family, and so when they get together, that's been like kind of a learning curve for me. But it's cool when we do that.
Don't die on us, Josiah,
Josiah
please.
drank too much water at one time. Yeah. So okay. Let's see. So you said family. Let's see. Our friends. What would you guys say? Like, what would you say when you're looking for a friend? Like, what are you looking for in a friend? Like, what's important to you when you're?
They pay attention to you, and they care
Mhm.
that you're playing with them. They don't just have you as a person that they thought they liked and then they just don't like anymore and they don't play with you.
So like you don't like people who would maybe use you just for because you have toy XYZ or whatever. Like you'd rather have a friend who actually cares about you.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What would you say, Aaron? What kind of friend are you looking for?
One that doesn't die when they drink too much water.
Yeah, that. And one that's into like that like stuff that I like.
Okay. So things people have things in
Yeah.
common with you. So
Yeah.
you also mentioned that family, faith, and
Friends.
Friends. Okay, so those are all really good things. Let's talk a little bit about faith here. How has your dad or mom, because we'll go with both parents, how have they shaped your faith growing up? I mean, you guys are still fairly young, but how would you say that they have influenced you in your faith? I stumped him.
We do it secretly, so they can't even name the thing.
How about you, Josiah? Anything that you can think of that would be something that your family has influenced your faith?
I think I have an idea.
All right, let's go ahead and Aaron, what's your...
Taking us to church on a regular basis.
Okay. So making it important that you're getting together with people of faith and learning about God. Good.
Yeah.
Very good idea. All right. So, Josiah, what about you?
I would say how we regularly go to church and how we care and listen to God when He speaks to us.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Half
What-
of that is what I said.
Yeah.
Well, I know it is, but I was
Yeah.
just saying that.
But he's agreeing with you
Yeah.
that what you said is right.
Yeah.
Is
Josiah,
that a compliment?
Josiah, I like the way you said how we listen to God when He speaks to us. What do you think? What are some things that you think that we could do? So this is an interesting question. I think what could we do?
Man, the cough's all around
Yeah,
today.
we got the all my allergies are going. What do you think we could do better as a family when we're talking about our developing our faith? Are there things that we could do? Are there some things that you think maybe like other folks do that you're like maybe we could try that? Yeah.
Nothing.
I don't know anything.
Wait, I have something. But
It's brewing in Aaron's brain.
It's having more just the 6 people in our family doing stuff more often, sitting down and playing a game.
Yeah.
Or just sitting down and playing a game.
Yeah.
Or just all of us watching a movie.
Doing things together, right?
Yeah.
Things that we usually don't do together.
So you guys are a 4-H family also, and so this year's been
Yeah.
strange and difficult for us as 4-H families. That was as any family, because I think we haven't been able to do the things that we normally do as a family that kind of maybe define us as a family. So we've got a chance to do other things and define us as families. But what are some of the 4-H clubs that you guys are a part of? If you could give us a lowdown on the 4-H things that you're part of.
I do fishing club and shooting sports.
Okay.
And this year in shooting sports, Aaron, what
Rifle.
Rifle.
Okay.
Okay.
And Josiah, what club are you in, or clubs?
Shooting sports and fishing.
Okay.
club.
And you're in as far as shooting sports, you're in
Archery.
archery. Gotcha. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Everyone has to start off with that archery.
They do, and we really appreciate the 4-H shooting sports club, because they definitely teach our kids the skills needed to safely handle firearms.
Yeah, which is something we try to surround our kids not only with obviously what we're teaching them, but to reinforce that with other adults. So yeah, safety and procedures and all that sort of stuff, definitely important. So let's see. I was wondering if there's one other question that I should. Okay. This is a deep question, guys. Okay, are you ready? What's one thing about you, each of you, okay, that you wish that you think I don't know, or that you wish I knew better?
He'll take his earphones off. He won't even hear you.
Yeah.
Just
So Aaron, is there something? Yeah, like if you're like, man, I wish Dad understood this more about me. Or I wish he knew this sort of thing about me.
I get overwhelmed easily.
Overwhelmed easily.
Did you know that, Joel?
So I know that in as much as Aaron is very, very similar to myself, and so like Aaron feels things very very intensely, very very deeply, which I think every family has an intense feeler, and I don't know, maybe as age has gone on, I think I still feel things pretty intensely. Do you think I'm a feeler, Aaron?
Not as much.
Not as much. You think you're more of a feeler than I am?
No.
No. Okay. So you think we're pretty similar.
Yeah.
So yes, you get overwhelmed. You feel kind of an intensity. You have a emotional intensity, which I really like that about you because it means that you care about things, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's important. Josiah, what about you? What's something about you that you think maybe I don't know or you'd like me to know, or
I don't have anything, but I have something that.
Do you have something or not?
Well, I have something that's wrong with me, but there's nothing else.
nothing?
Besides something that's wrong with me.
What do you think's wrong with you?
Well, there's nothing really wrong with me.
No.
I'm just saying that I have a.
Attention deficit disorder that you're talking about? Your ADD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
HD.
HD, you're in high definition.
Yes, your high definition. Yes. ADHD is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, so it's not something wrong with you, right?
No.
Right. It's just something that's different about
Mhm.
you. Right. But you are, as you're getting older, you're learning how to
Yes.
work through it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Very-
He is.
Very proud of you
Very
for
cool.
that.
Very
Yeah.
cool. So, Joel, let me ask you this here then. So you asked them something as far as what, they could do, or things that they didn't know about you, or you didn't know about them, or whatever. So I'm going to ask you the question, like, what's one thing that if you could tell them as a dad, what's one thing right now that you could just kind of sum up, like, I really, really want you to know this specific thing?
That I am incredibly proud of both of my sons.
Okay. It's not like we hear that. It's like we hear that every day.
Do you think I tell you that enough?
You tell us at least once or twice
Do
a week.
Do you think he tells you too much?
Yes.
Wow.
Josiah, do you think I tell you that too much?
No, not really.
No.
So one kid,
It's interesting.
it is interesting because
Yeah.
you have one that definitely like doesn't need to hear it as much.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good thing to remember as parents too, that each kid is going to be different, and so just because one kid does, I think he's dying over there. Just because one kid, may like or may be able to respond to your, like words of affection or whatever better than the other one, one may not feel like they need that as much, whereas
Yeah.
someone may, we all have different gifts and different like ways that we feel love.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that as parents that our kids feel that same thing too. And so, one kid may need to hear words of affirmation from you, where one person may need to actually just spend more time with you or things like that.
Yeah, and we all know this as parents, man. Our kids, it's like, they're growing up in the same household, but man, they're all very different from each other. And they respond to things differently, and they think about things differently. And Aaron and Josiah, they're 15 months apart, and boy oh boy, they're very different people, right? You guys are both very different people.
Yes.
Way different than each other.
What would you? I'd be interested, Aaron. Josiah, how do you think you're different than your brother?
Well, I like way more things that he likes, and he likes different things. He
Yeah.
likes way more things than I like,
So
but he's pickier than I am.
Yeah.
With food.
but Josiah,
I like lots of food, and he doesn't.
Josiah
really
doesn't
like
like brisket though.
Oh,
Corned beef.
Brisket?
I
Oh,
don't like
man.
corned beef.
He doesn't like corned beef.
I don't like corned beef.
It's very sad.
Oh, that is very. I think I'm just gonna cry here. I think that I'm gonna cry, but it's just yeah.
it's
It's so sad that he doesn't like brisket.
that is funny. Yeah. No, they're it's funny. Our kids are different, and
But I am pickier.
yeah,
than
you're
him.
way pickier. Way pickier.
Yes.
Gosh.
Gotcha. So what's if there's something, let's just say that you could change about your house, your household, your home, what would that be?
Having a bigger house or a bigger basement.
Bigger basement. What
Okay.
would you use a bigger basement for?
More places to put stuff, like all the furniture that we have, and all the stuffed animals.
We do have a lot of stuffed animals. You probably would build bigger forts, maybe bigger Lego cities.
Yes, if we just need here. I play with Legos if they're organized right.
Yeah.
Organized by color.
Yeah.
Organize them by color, and I'll
So
play.
you're very like you want things like in a certain
Yes,
way. You want
yes,
them.
Yes.
First child, type A.
Yes. Yeah. Very. Everything has to be neat and orderly, in order for that to work for you.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Although it's funny because sometimes when I go into Aaron's room,
it's the messiest.
Stop.
I don't feel like it's the most neat and orderly. But yeah,
It's not like I spend my whole life in my room.
that's true.
I just sleep in there.
Yep.
I don't.
Molly makes most of the mess.
Yes.
oh,
yes.
so
I
Molly's
share
not-
a room
Molly's-
with Molly.
Molly's not even
It
here to defend
is
herself, but you're.
Terrible.
From what I hear, she doesn't sleep in the room very much.
No,
She
just
plays in her
there.
room.
She just plays in there.
Oh,
It makes
okay.
most of a mess.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And I'm being forced to clean it up.
Forced.
You know, that's
She
part of
is almost 4 years old.
And she doesn't have
that's
to clean.
part of being the oldest kid,
It
right? You
is.
got to kind of take some responsibility.
right. That's right.
Well, Joel, any other questions for them? I'm glad they got a chance to come out here. I know that they've been bugging you for the last year and a half since we did my kids on the show.
Yeah.
But do you have any other questions that you want to ask them before we wrap up this episode?
Well, I just want to say that I'm super glad that you guys got to come and hang
Yeah.
out with us. And this is like one of those things I think that as you guys get older, like we'll have, it's like this
More episodes.
more episodes
Like
with all of
Joel's
you?
Kids Part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we'll get
Part
Molly
16.
and Maddie out here,
Yeah.
and they can tell all the secrets about you guys.
Oh,
Why don't you just get more
No.
mics? Just get more mics.
get more mics.
Get more mics.
You hear that? The kids said that we need to get more mics, so if y'all want to donate to our
Yeah,
mic
you
fund.
feel free to donate to the mic fund. Well, guys, thank you so much for
Get
being
more
here.
Mics, we'll get more people. We'll get more people. No, we can have more people.
Our studio space is quite large. There's 2 couches in here, so we could definitely
And a
have
whole desk.
and a
over
whole
there.
desk over there that we're not even using.
We
so
could put all
And-
kinds
and
of
a big
people.
room.
We could put all kinds of people in here.
we
could
could
do-
we could have a party.
We could have a podcast party with all the kids. Oh
We
my
could.
gosh, that could
That
That'd
would
be
be
fun.
that'd be chaos,
chaos.
But you don't have enough
Okay.
mics, so get more mics.
right? And meanwhile, I think that Josiah switched over to the core ball, whatever that is, the yoga
it's
ball.
It's actually
Kickball.
a giant kickball.
It's a yoga ball,
It's a giant
got-
kickball.
and he's
I'm just
like bouncing
I'm
around.
just waiting for it to explode underneath
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
well, normally, I mean, we could do what the Dudes and Dads pop quiz, but that's what we've been doing the whole time, and I don't think that they have a favorite love song or a first car. So,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I do.
you have a favorite love song or a first car?
Oh, I have a first car.
This is your hope for a first car?
No, I have a first car.
You do.
Yeah, it's a Hot Wheel.
It's a Hot Wheel.
Oh.
All right. I got you there. All right, cool. Well, hey guys, thank you for coming out, come to the show here tonight. We really appreciate you and kind of your insight, and it's a little bit different from what we normally do. We're normally interviewing either dads or older guys, but
Other people that need to be on here besides us.
but anyways, we really appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us for this show. This episode.
Thanks for coming, Aaron and Josiah.
Yep.
Can we run away?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Please.
Not yet.
Almost. Well, hey guys, we just want to thank you all for listening to this episode, and we also want to thank our patrons. The patrons help support this show. They help keep the lights on and the electricity running and all that good stuff like that. And more mics
More mics.
Yeah. So we want to thank our patrons, Brad Gertzen, James Kennison, Scott and Jesse, and Ty Miller. Those are our patrons we want to thank this week. If you want to join on that bandwagon and help support this show, you can go to dudesanddadspodcast.com/support. And the great thing about being a Patreon, Joel, is they get shout outs in the show. If depending on the level they support us at, but then they also get behind the scenes stuff and extra video and audio. And there's even one level that they get a coffee mug.
Oh my gosh, a coffee mug.
So yes, you can join the patrons too, dudesanddadspodcast.com/support. That will get you there. But hey, Joel, it's been great. Happy Father's Day. I want to say Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day to you, Andy. These are it's a good day to be a dad, and
It
we're happy to be here with all of you other dads. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks, guys,
Grace.
and peace.